Hello and welcome, and how to change alternator in Honda Civic. And here is this alternator. We can see that, and we need to change that alternator and replace the alternator. Okay, let's continue. Okay, first thing what we need to do is that we need to take this battery's minus cable away when we are doing this job. And here is this minus cable, and I use 10mm socket what goes in there, and I take this minus cable away. Okay, and this was the first task. Okay, then next task is that we need to take 3 bolts away, and I like to show those bolts to you that we can continue. First bolt, it is just in here, that one. There is first bolt and it is 14mm, and then second bolt is in here for this 12mm, and then I have also installed the most difficult bolt. When you look in there down, you can see maybe their socket what is just in there, and there is the third bolt what size is also 14mm, and you can see that right in there. And we need first release all of those 3 bolts, and then we can continue. Okay, let's go to open those bolts. Okay, and that first bolt in here, it was 14mm, and for that we need that kind of wrench where is this size 14mm. And I have to say that these bolts are normally very thick, and you need lot of force, and I will show that how I can get this force. And then when we install this wrench in here, in that way we need that force. And I have here my nice tool. What is this longer pipe, and there is hole, and I insert that hole in there, and then when I rotate that, now my tool drop. And when I insert that tool in there, there is this situation that these bolts are very thick, and I insert that in here. And then next step is that I insert that my pipe in here, and then I rotate this my tool, and now this bolt opens. And this you need a 100% longer bar because these bolts are so thick. And now this bolt in here, it moves, and I can use that wrench. And this is also quite bad situation because there is so small space that I can't use my wrench and those kind of things. But this was open, and then I need to open this bolt almost totally. Okay, now this is quite open, and then we have next this next bolt, and it was just in here. It was in here, and for that opening we need also that more force. I set up that in here, and again my big pipe comes in here, and then I rotate, and this bolt opens also very easily. Okay, and as I said, these bolts are very thick, and if you try to open this bolt in that small tool, I give a warning, you will hurt your hands and your fingers, because these bolts are so thick. Okay, and then I open that more, so more that there is the small hole between in there. When you look, there is the small hole now. And now these bolts, that one and that one, they are released, and then we have next bolt to open. And for that we need to take our front tire away, and we go to take front tire away. Okay, we continue. Okay, and then we need to really lift this car up, and that kind of jack is very useful, and I have already lifted that up. And then we need to, of course, open those bolts in there, and for that job we need that kind of long wrench, and jocket. What size is now? It's 19 millimeter, and this fits in here. And I open these bolts, and when you have long this tool, like in that one, these bolts open really easily. But if you have very short tool, like in that one, then it is quite impossible to open these. Okay, but these are now open, and I take those bolts away this way. And then we have next step, when we have taken this tire away, because this we have next step. Okay, and then I take this tire away. And our next step is that when we look in there inside in this area, we need to take this plastic little bit away, and there is small plastic bolt where size is 10 millimeter, and when you have a socket, what size is this 10 millimeter, this fits really nicely in here, and we can rotate these, and these open very easily, and there is really that kind of plastic bolt. And then when this is moving, there is this other part what you you need to also maybe open, and then when this is moving we can go to this, look, this bolt is in there. Okay, and then when we look a little bit this, there is this front brake disc, and there is this left drive shaft, and just when we look in there down, there we can see that there is this alternator, and just in there is this bolt in here, and this bolt, it is also very thick then, and we need for that this long bar that we can open that, and next we do that. Okay, and let's continue. Okay, and now I have here this 14mm socket, and then this long my bar, friends, and then I insert this my socket in just in this bolt there. I insert this in just in there, and then I move that plastic cover so that I can insert this socket in there. Okay, and now I take this socket and this is quite difficult place, and that's the reason. Okay, now it socket is there, and then I insert this, my friends, in there, this bar, and now it's in there, and then I can turn. Okay, now it moves, and I managed to open that. But remember that this bolt is also very thick, and we need those long tools. And now I insert it again, and I open that again. And now I think that this is little bit open, and I can use smaller friends. And I take this socket out, and here is my smaller friends, and I insert this in here, and then I insert that in their back, and now I believe that I can open this better. And this place is quite difficult place, I have to say that now this fence was so big that I have to use this 14mm fence, and now okay, and now it opens. Okay, good, and now I can use my hand. Also, maybe this is quite thick. Okay, and then we open that something like 10 turns. That this must be loosened. Okay, and okay, but we are in winning side. this bolt moves. Then I try my hand. Okay, this is quite. Okay, now I managed to rotate. Okay, good. Okay, now this is release, and we can do next step. Okay, and now when we have open all of those 3 bolts, and this alternator can now move free, I can take my hand in here, and this moves nicely, and then I change a little bit this alternator and it moves, and when this moves I move that alternator in very near of this motor, and when I have moved that, then this drive belt is easy to take out. In that I only use my hand a little bit. In my hand is in there, and I insert my hand in that side, and then I a little bit move first this that in there up, and I take my hand in here, and I believe that I still move this alternator. I use my both hand, and now this belt opens. Okay, and now belt is in there, and we can take this belt out. Okay, and now this belt is just in here. It is free, and I can take this belt out in here, and here is this belt, and then we check the status of this, and when I change this side, I can see that there is this first that side. This is quite okay, and here is only one hit. There is one hit in there, and we need to change this belt to new one, because there is this damage in there, and we need to change this belt, and then when I rotate this in other side, and if you could see that here some of those rubber parts are away or broken totally, then we need to change this belt. In overall, this belt is quite okay, but not in very good condition. Okay, and then we install new belt in there, and it's our next step. Okay, and then next part is that when we have taken this drive belt away, we need to take these final bolts in 2 in here also away, and that's I move that alternator, and maybe when I take that bolt in here, this one I take this one away, and it moves quite nicely. Then I use 2 fingers and there is this bolt what I am opening now using two fingers, and then I check that is there. Okay. Okay, now it's almost open. And this space is very small. Okay. And this bolt is quite long. Okay, and now it's open, and there was so big this bolt, and then this alternator of course moves more, and then we can go to take away this lower bolt, and we go in that area. Okay, and then I continue to open this lower bolt. It was in here, and I open that in here, and this moves nicely. And now it drops, and then there's quite long, there is this long, and there is this part. Okay, now okay, and there was so long big bolt, and where was that kind of other side, and that was this nut, and then I insert this nut back in this bolt, and I think that now this alternator is quite free, and I take my hands and we have next step. Okay, and next step is that when this alternator it is in here, and then there is this alternator, this place where this alternator goes. I need to move that and then I think that I can insert some tool in there, that this goes away, and because now this alternator is moving, but there is this final part. Okay, and let's do that. Okay, and next I think that I need to take this support bar away, and there is this one bolt what is left in here, and it was 14 millimeter this size, and I opened that bolt totally. And this, okay, now this opens. And I can use my fingers to I continue that, and when this bolt is open we continue. Okay, and now this bolt is open, and I can take it out in here, and there was this bolt, and now I can take this cable thing a little bit away. Okay, and then we try to move this alternator. I take my hands in here and I flip a little bit, lift this alternator, and let's look what happened. And this alternator is still in there. Okay, and then when this alternator is in there, I move that a little bit, and then I think that I insert some tool in that area what is between this alternator and then this body, and we continue. Okay, and now I have that kind of tool, and I insert the tool in there between of this alternator and then this body, and let's look what happened. Can I change this? And then I go to this downstairs, that there is this our area, but we need to open, and I use that kind of tool now in this downstairs. It's down. Let's look. Okay, now it moves. It's almost open. Very nice. Okay, and now it opens. Very good. Okay, now this alternator is released. It's in there, and then we need to next take those alternator cables, and there is this alternator, and we take next those cables out. It's our next task. Okay, and next step is to take these cables out. And first there is this green cable, and when I press this button in here and I pull that in same time, I can take this green cable out, and I press that. Now I press, and then I still in there. Okay, now this green cable is okay, and then we need to take this that cable out. And there is this, and there is this 10mm bolt what we need to open, and okay, and now I have here this 10mm fence, and I can take this alternator in here, and then I open that part, and I keep this alternator thicken in there, and there is this part. I insert this 10mm fence in. Okay, and now I think that I need to use some cable that I can lift this alternator up, and I take cable a little bit. Okay, then I have here this electric cable, what is copper, and I think that I lift up this alternator, and then there is this one hole, and I insert this cable right in this hole in here, and I take this alternator in my control, okay, and then I tie this cable, and I lift it back up, and then I hook this wire in here. Okay, now this alternator is better in here. Okay, and then there is of course this my bolt, where I need this 10mm fence, and I open that bolt. Okay, now it's open. It's open, and then I can use my fingers and quite soon this bolt is now it's open. There is this bolt, and then I can take this cable. There is this cable we had. Okay, and there is this cable, and cable is now released, and then I think that is there any any cables what we need to open. Okay, and we continue. Okay, and then there is one bolt what is 8 mm, and we need small wrench, and I have installed that wrench in there. And okay, and then we have this one small bolt opening where we need this 8 mm socket, and then I insert that in there, and I take my hand in here, and now that bolt also opens, and I rotate this. Okay, now it's open, and I take that bolt, and there is that kind of bolt, and then I think that this alternator should be all cables out, and we can start to take this out in some suitable place. And there is this alternator that is just in there, and I think that next step is that I lift or carefully drop that alternator in down. Okay, and we continue. Okay, and then this alternator has been released, and we need to drop that alternator in down, and there is actually space just in there that we can insert in that hole this alternator directly down to ground. And now this alternator, it is in ground, and we can go to take that. There was this space just in behind of this motor area, and there was hole, and there is this fuel injection system, and there is the space. Okay, and now this alternator, it is in their ground, and we can take this alternator in here, and there was actually quite small space where we could drop down carefully this alternator, and there was not so much space, but there is our alternator. Okay, and there is this alternator, and I take my hand and alternator is just in here, and there is alternator, and then we can change this alternator to new one. And there is all things is there, and this alternator, this is when you purchase new one, you can purchase brand new, or then you can purchase those used one what are in old Honda Civics. Okay, and then we take this new alternator. Okay, it's our next step. Okay, and now I have here this new serviced and repaired alternator, and I can start to install this alternator back. And there was idea that we insert this alternator first in here ground that way, and then I use this electric wire and I lift that up in this motor area. Okay, and next I do that and we continue. Okay, and now I have here this electric cable and there is alternator in ground, and I start to lift this alternator back in this same road, and quite soon we have this alternator. It is back in here. Okay, and we continue when this alternator is in here. Okay, and now alternator, it is back in here and it's in there, and it's moving there. And next step is that we need to install those cables back in there, and for that I tie this cable in here that we can install those wires back. Okay, and now we have been installed those cables in there. The next step is to install this alternator back in this motor area holes. And for that it is good that you insert some grease or oil between those two sides. And I have here oil, what I insert in just in there, because there can be some corrosion, and this is like oil, normal oil, multi-lupe oil. Now I start to insert this alternator back in this hole, and it looks like that it's just quite well in there. And then next step is that we add this support bar in there, that we can continue. Okay, then we continue next task. Okay, and then when we are installing this alternator, there is this down area picture where we need to install that one big bolt, and there is good that if you move that alternator in same time when you are like in that you a little bit move that alternator same time when you insert that bolt, because this could be sometimes in something like this way, that you move and you move that alternator in same time when you move that bolt, because this bolt needs this help. Okay, there is this alternator, and you need to move that. I showed that how you need to move. Okay, so when you are installing this down bolt, it is sometimes quite difficult to find this hole, and now I showed that how you could find this bolt much easier, and there is idea that you are in this ground, and then you move that alternator, and then you add this. You try to find this place, and move that alternator in different position, and then this bolt goes out this way. Okay, and now this is okay, and then you can also make this plastic cover in your ground more open. Okay, good. And then we need to install, when this alternator is in here, we have next bolt is to in that bolt in here. Okay, and then we can take this wire out, because it help us quite a lot. But now I think that we don't need that anymore, and I'll take this wire. Okay, now this wire is out, and then we can install this alternator back in here, and we need that. For that we need that kind of bolt, and I insert that bolt in here, and then I need to find this place. Okay, then I install this bolt back. Okay, and now we have all of those bolts back in there, and then we need to only tighten this bolt back, and then this alternator change is okay. And okay, now this is fine, and next we can install this drive belt in their back. Okay, and then we have new drive belt, and we insert that in, so that first in this big part in here. This is the first one. We take look. Okay, and first step is to insert this drive belt in this down, and there are those holes where this drive belt goes in this inner circle. And if you have their air condition then or power steering, then the second belt goes in that road. But this alternator drive belt goes in here, and then when we have this in there thick, then please check that this is very thick then in there, and then we keep that in all time in our hand in this way. I am keeping in my hand in this always, and then we take a new look. Okay, and then we need to install this drive belt in this alternator, and firstly this belt must be okay in this cover area, and then when it is in here, we need to insert this alternator indirectly in this area. What is in here? So much then possible. We need to insert this drive belt, and okay, and firstly you need to insert this alternator so near this motor body than possible, that you lift that in here and then you move those two bolts so near than possible. And then we take this drive belt and just it goes just in the hook, only this up. Okay, and now it went through this alternator's this wheel, and then we can release a little bit that in here, and then we need to start to thicken these bolts, that we can make this suitable thickness in this belt. Okay, and we continue. I thicken first that bolt and then this bolt also, that we can get this thickness, and also this down bolt first, but do not thick those bolts in full thickness. Okay, and then when I have thickened that bolt and also that one bolt little bit and the most in the lowest bolt, then you take your fingers in here and you press that alternator in this direction. And for that thing, this belt is now quite thick. You can use your fingers, and then you need to do this thickening, that you thicken this bolt in here. And when we have thickened this bolt, we can check that is this belt's thickness okay or not. Okay, now it's thickened, and then I use my finger, and this belt should go down something like 1 centimeter and something like half inches. And now I think that this is well, and then we check that everything is okay. And when we have thickened all of these bolts, we can start the engine and check that everything is okay. And next I thicken all of those bolts very thick. And moment is something like 50 Newton meters. Okay, and then of course remember to connect this battery minus cable, and after that we start the engine. Okay, and then I go to start the engine, and let's look that what is result, that how belt works. Okay, and now belt is running nicely, and I check a little bit, and belt works well. And now this work has been made, and we can fit them all apart. Okay, and now this work is ready, and final step is that we need to thicken all parts and components, and we install all parts back, and then this work is done. And thank you for watching.